So we've got a couple of issues now. This one here is ongoing, and now we've got a new one where players start to cut out entire sections of the track to get a fast time, but that's not going to stop us. We've got A+ to get to, so we're going to keep our head down and crack on. Hey guys, and welcome along to another video. If this is your first time here and you are watching all sorts of GT Sport related stuff, subscribe now and click the little bell icon so you get notified of every video I upload and you don't miss a thing. In today's video we're going to cover Daily Race C at Circuit de Catalunya. Now for those who have been living under a rock, Circuit de Catalunya is the newest track that has come to GT Sport. It arrived in update 1.29 and it is riddled at the moment with issues. But we're going to go into that a little bit later on, as I'm going to get challenged for first. But watch the Spaniard here dive straight up the inside of the guy who did challenge me for first. What a dive bomb. He is now up into second. Well, I say second because of the glitches that we saw at the very start of the race, and you can see them up there at the very top of the mini map there. The likelihood is, and I'm 99% sure, that we're not challenging for first, second and third here. Because of the glitches, I know people are most likely, you won't be able to see them, but most likely racing off up ahead, and we will not see them until the first batch of pit stops. So for some reason after these pit stops they all come alive and we all fall into the positions that we have been. There's almost two separate races going on right now. One that you can see and one that you can't see, and when we all pit in we will all sort of merge into one, is the best way I can describe it, but you will see how that works out later on in the race. Now as we come into sector 3 here for the first time, this for me is probably one of the most difficult sectors in the entire game, and what I also don't need are these people flicking around in front of me to distract me. But I think that is something we're going to have to get used to, at least for the time being, as I did see in a notice that Gran Turismo have said that they're aware of the issue but they're not going to change it until the next update. Now I hope I've read that wrong, and I appreciate they've got the World Finals and all that sort of stuff coming up, but that can't continue, and nor can the track limits, which I'm going to go into in a moment. That is just absolutely ridiculous. So it's going to be quite awkward really to see if they're managing to fix it for the final, but those who play it day in day out have got to struggle with it for, they're telling us, until the end of the month. What do you think of that then? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Should they just leave it? I mean, I appreciate that they've got the Gran Turismo World Finals, which is absolutely brilliant. I think it's fantastic what they're doing there, and I've said that time and time again. But personally, I think there should be a team hanging back to make sure that the people who are using it on a day-to-day basis don't suffer as a result. There must be enough people to fix this. You can't just wait, in my humble opinion, until the end of the month when a new update comes in to fix it. They just need to fix it with a patch. They need to fix the grid thing, but they also need to fix the end of this section here. So as we come into section number 3 here, there's going to be people, and you would have seen it in the top 10 lap times, where people are just carrying on and not taking the last few, as I get a bit of a wobble on here, chicanes. They're going to go straight on their left, and rather than doing these bits here, they're going to rejoin the track through the barrier. Now that hasn't been happening that I can see in this race, which I'm really happy with, but I have seen it in qualification, and they just need to fix it. And part of me also thinks that they need to take some sort of retrospective action against those who are abusing the game limits like that. We've seen it a few times with people, for instance, wall riding at Blue Moon Speedway, which I don't really have an issue with, to be honest, and also the extended track limits at Turn 1 at the Red Bull Ring. Again, I do it myself because you've got to do it to stay with the competition, but I think there's a difference between doing that sort of thing and cutting out massive sections of the track just because you don't get penalised to falsify your position and give you a better chance. So again, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of all this that's going on, and are Polyphony Digital kind of losing it with their whole quality thing? For me, I've got real concerns of it, and I'm hoping they're going to listen to either myself or some of the larger members of the community who've got more than a voice than I, because they need to get this sort of thing fixed. It just kind of puts a downer on everything that they do. So they do one good thing by, let's use this track for example, bringing a fantastic track, Circuit de Catalunya, for free to the game, but then someone just hasn't checked that it's working as it should be. Yes, aesthetically it looks fantastic, it looks realistic, drives well, but then you've got to make sure that someone can't abuse the track limits, and first of all you've got to make sure that people can get off the line. But hey, I've said my piece now, Polyphony. I'm hoping you're listening, and I'm hoping that you sort it out sooner rather than later. So, shall we get back to the race, shall we? We find ourselves in position, in inverted commas, number 2 here, as I'm really struggling in sector number 3 and lost a bit of time there, but we'll get used to it in time. But have a look behind us here with the Spaniard. You can barely see him here. Here he comes up the inside. He's going to chuck it up the inside of us, cut the corner there, and he's going to go up into second in a move reminiscent of the one that he put on the Dutchman in the very first corner on the very first lap. So we are down to third, but I'm determined after that to get it back, and if I need to get my elbows out to do so, I think I'm going to do it. So let's stay on board here as we come down into the Seat curve here. A number of very difficult corners around this track that I'm just not used to yet in this Porsche. I did a bit of practice. I probably did about 15 laps or so and spent a bit of time with the community last night practicing on this game, but I really need to find a car other than the Porsche that works for me. But it looks like here we're going to have a run on him down into La Caxia here. So we're going to make the move down the inside. We've made the apex. He's going to turn in on us once. He's going to give us another whack on the way out for good luck, and then he's going to hit us up the backside here, which is going to push us wide coming through this corner as we go through these guys here who are still having issues flicking around all over the place, which is just not helping, through Europe car and into the final chicane here. So at least we know that the Circuit de Catalunya marketing team is making a load of money by selling every right to every corner on the track. Europe car, what a strange name to call it. But anyway, so coming down the front straight, we're going to make a move on him here. Hopefully we'll be able to make this one stick. Coming down into Elf curve number 1 here, he's going to hang it out around the outside. I'm going to try and give him as much room as possible. There's going to be a bit of contact that pushes us wide, and I'm going to keep the inside through the Renault curve here. That's fine, he can keep the outside. There's a bit of sliding here and a bit more contact, but we're going to try it once and for all to go up the inside into Repsol. It looks like we've made it stick here. It took me a little bit longer than I wanted to, but as we come down into the Seat curve here, it looks like we've made it stick. So now I'm going to have to get my head down. As you can see, the Dutchman up in front through all our squabbling has made a little bit of a scarper into the distance here. He's now 4.5 seconds up the road, so I'm going to try and close that gap a little bit as we're going to come in at the end of this lap, and we're going to see where we all pan out. Into the pits we come then for some new boots and some fuel. Let's see where we come out. Here we go then, we're coming out of the pits. A slight mess up on the gears there on the way out. It's the first time I come out of the pits in this car, to be honest. You never know when the auto drive is going to finish changing gears, but it looks like we have come out in 7th position, which isn't terrible. And again, we have come in a lap earlier than probably most others, so it'll be interesting to see if any more people come in front of us and we can pick up any more places. So through the pit stops we've actually managed to hold on to 7th place here. A couple of people did appear out in front of us as we suspected, but after all of that we ended up in the same place in 7th. But we won't be for long, as the guy up in front here, the Dutchman who we've been following for the majority of this race, gets it all wrong coming out of Kamsa. I guess he just went wide and put a couple of wheels onto the dirt there on the left hand side and it span him round. But we're now up to 6th, and there's someone who you might recognise occupying 5th place. Now he's 4 seconds up the road here, so I don't expect to catch him particularly soon, although he doesn't seem to have had a very good 3rd sector there. He's picked up a penalty as well. He's lost a good few seconds through that sector, so we're going to be with him before we know it. So those who recognise him know exactly what he's about. For those who don't, I actually featured him in a couple of videos very early on in the channel, and he didn't really shower himself in glory. So let's see if we're going to have an issue this time around. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping he's learnt his lesson, and it looks like he's going to burn his penalty down the outside and just let us through up the inside, coming through Renault, and we are now up into 4th without any further issue. And we're going to fast forward now to the final lap of the race. Not much else happened, to be honest. The gap to the top 3 remained the same, and as you can see, car 72 dropped off, but we've got a healthy cushion to the Spaniard in 5th behind us here. So whilst we've got a couple of seconds spare as we finish off this part of the lap, I just want to wish everybody who is at the Gran Turismo World Tour this weekend, World Tour Finals, all the very best. Fantastic work for getting there. You're an inspiration to a lot of us, and especially Martin Grady, aka Tijni. You have my full support, and I hope you do really, really well, mate. We actually went down to 5th as someone appeared as we crossed the line, but I don't mind, as we can see when I have a look at my driver rating, I actually gained 400 driver rating points. And that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.